हेलो एवरीवन, माय नेम इज अभिषेक. आई एम एन इंस्ट्रक्टर एंड प्रोडक्ट इंजीनियर एट कोडिंग ब्लॉक्स. ठीक है, तो हम ज़्यादा इंट्रोडक्शन में नहीं जाएंगे. सो द प्लान फॉर दिस लेक्चर, दिस सेशन, इट विल टिपिकली लास्ट फॉर अराउंड 60 to 90 minutes, and I intend to mostly teach about recursion, and maybe at the end of the session I can introduce you to the concept of linked list. I expect you have some understanding about programming. You have programmed before, but I won't be writing a lot of code. I will keep things simple. If you have a working knowledge of C++, that will be very good. But if you know a different language as well, the session will be very easy for you. Okay, so let me share my screen and we will start with recursion. Just give me a second. Okay, so I hope everyone can see my screen. Right? Okay. So I think most of you must have encountered recursion as a topic while doing any course on data structures or algorithms, or while solving any problems on any contest. So it's a very interesting topic. It's a problem solving technique. So as per it's not like a data structure, but it's a problem solving technique that we use typically in various problems, and you must have encountered it. Shrey has raised his hand. Just give me a second. So I think someone raised his hand. गलती से किया था क्या? Okay. So recursion, it's a problem solving technique that you will encounter while solving problems in various data structures. In fact, if you sit for placements, like this is a placement series, when you sit for placements, there's a 95% chance that you will encounter a question that will be on recursion. If not recursion, then it will be on dynamic programming, which is built on top of recursion, right? So before I talk about recursion, what it is, how do you solve problem recursively, I want to introduce you a related concept which is known as reduction. Has anyone heard about reduction algorithms? कोई है यहाँ पर जिसने reduction सुना हो कभी? नहीं सुना. ठीक है, recursion तो सुना है ना, मतलब you must have heard about recursion. Reduction नहीं सुना. So what I will do is I will first talk about reduction briefly, and then I will try to connect reduction to recursion. So, okay. So what is reduction? Let me write it down. Reduction. So what is reduction? So let's say you have a problem which I'm calling as X, right? This is a problem that you want to solve. By solving a problem, I mean you want to design an algorithm for this problem X. Okay, so I want to design an algorithm for this problem X. Now let's assume that while you were solving this problem, right, while you were designing the algorithm, at some point you managed to reduce the given problem X or simplify the given problem X into another problem Y, right? Now at this point, if I want to complete the algorithm for X, I need to solve problem Y first. Okay, now you have two options. You can solve it yourself. That is, you can design an algorithm for Y yourself, or let's assume you have an assistant who's a trustworthy assistant, or you can ask your assistant to solve it for you, right? So you have two options. You can solve it yourself, or you can ask your assistant to solve it for you. So what will you do? आप मुझे बताओ chat में. What will you do? Will you solve it yourself, or will you give it to an assistant who is trustworthy? कोई भी? Anyone? Assistant, right? तो असिस्टेंट को क्यों देंगे? Because maybe we are lazy or we are running short on time. So I give this problem to my assistant. Now this is my assistant. Now my assistant will take this problem Y. He will solve it somehow. I do not know how he will solve it. He will solve it somehow and he will get back to me with the algorithm for Y. Now all I need to do is to complete my algorithm for X is to incorporate the algorithm for Y as a subroutine in algorithm for X, right? Once I have done that, I can do other steps as well of the algorithm and I'm done. This idea of reducing a given problem X or simplifying a given problem X into another problem Y and writing the algorithm for x using algorithm for y is known as a reduction, and such algorithms are known as reduction algorithms. Is this thing clear what reduction is? You were given a problem x that you wanted to solve. That is, you wanted to design an algorithm for x. While solving this problem, at some point you managed to reduce the given problem or simplify the given problem x into another problem y, right? And now to solve y, you ask your trustworthy assistant to solve it for you. Your assistant solves a problem, gets back to you with the solution, and you incorporated that solution as a subroutine or as a black box in algorithm for x, and you are done, right? Now, why did I say that when I get back the solution for problem for why did I say that when I get back the solution, that is algorithm for y, I incorporate that as a subroutine and I treat it as a black box? कोई बता सकता है why I treat algorithm for y as a black box? He stopped. कुछ दिक्कत है क्या लाइव सेशन में?
No, sir, it's smooth.
Okay. So can anyone tell me that why I treat the algorithm for y that I get back from my assistant as a black box? Because I do not know how my assistant has solved the problem. I am not aware about the inner workings of the algorithm for y. All I know is that, or all I can assume is that algorithm for y will work correctly, right? Exactly. So Somesh ne kaha ki we do not know the algorithm. So that is why when you get back the algorithm for y from your assistant, it's a black box because you do not know about the inner workings. And this idea of reduction is very common in programming. For example, you must have written some function to do some task. And in that function, you must have called some other function. For example, you call a built-in function or a library function. Now, in general, are you aware about the inner workings of library functions? When you use a library function from C++, SQL, or a built-in function in Python or in Java, are you aware about the inner workings of the library functions that you call? No. But you still use them. You still use them under the assumption that they work correctly, right? So programmatically, if I want to talk about reduction or reduction algorithms, you can think of reduction algorithms as a function that calls another function in itself. Clear hai sabko what reduction is and how it is a very common thing that we have been doing for so long? Sabko clear hai? So programmatically, it's a function which calls another function. Let's say I have a function f1 that calls another function f2, right? Something like this. Okay, so that is reduction. Now let's come to recursion, which is the actual topic for today's class. So what is recursion? So recursion is a kind of reduction. It is a kind of reduction. What do I mean by that? Let's say you are given a problem X, right? That's a different problem. You are given a problem X that you want to solve recursively. That is, you want to design a recursive algorithm for this problem X. Then recursion says, there are two steps to recursion. Recursion says, if this problem X can be solved directly, then you solve it directly. Okay, this is sometimes also known as the base case of recursion. If the given problem that you want to solve, it can be solved directly, then you solve it directly. That is the base case of recursion. Otherwise, recursion says, if you cannot solve the given problem directly, then try to reduce the given problem, simplify the given problem into one or more instances of the same problem. All right. Second step kya hai? Simplify the given problem or reduce the given problem into one or more smaller instances of the same problem. So just to repeat, recursion, it's a kind of reduction and it has two steps. For a given problem X, if you can solve it directly, then you solve it directly. That is the base case of recursion. Of course, we will see a lot of examples today. So ye sare jo concepts and that will be more concrete. If you cannot solve the given problem X directly, then recursion says try to reduce the given problem or simplify the given problem into one or more smaller instances of the same problem, right? Ye same jo maine likha hai, jo underline kiya, that is the key term. And once you manage to do that, that is, you manage to simplify the given problem into one or more smaller instances of the same problem. Agar aap ye kar paye, then once again you can give the responsibility of solving those smaller sub problems to someone else. Who is that someone else? That someone else is your assistant. Clear है सबको? What recursion says? So at this point, if I want to compare and contrast recursion and reduction, तो मैं कह सकता हूं in reduction I was given a problem x which I simplified to another problem y. In recursion I was given a problem x and let's say the problem cannot be solved directly, so you simplify that given problem x into one or more smaller instances of the same problem. Programmatically अगर बात करें तो in reduction you write a function which makes a call to another function in its body. In recursion, when you write a function, it makes a call to itself. सबको clear है what is reduction and why recursion is a kind of reduction? मुझे बताओ. Is this thing clear? Reduction again in brief. तो reduction का मतलब कुछ नहीं है. You were given a problem X. कुछ भी problem हो सकती है, right? You were designing a, मैं repeat कर रहा हूँ. I'm just repeating everything. Reduction की बात करते हैं. You were given a problem X that you wanted to solve. That is, you wanted to design an algorithm for X. While designing the algorithm for X, at some point, let's say you managed to simplify the given problem X into another problem Y. At this point, you ask your assistant to solve problem Y for you. He solves the problem, gets back to you with the solution. You incorporate that solution as a black box in algorithm for X, and you are done. That is reduction. Programmatically, it means you write a function which makes a call to another function. अब ये जो दूसरा function हमने call किया अपने main function की body से, we are not concerned कि वो कैसे काम करता है. We can just assume that it works correctly. That is reduction. Recursion क्या कहता है? It's a kind of reduction, right? Let's say we again have a problem X that we want to solve recursively, for which we want to design a recursive solution. So recursion says, if you can solve that problem directly, then solve it directly. That is the base case of recursion. Otherwise, base case क्या होता है अभी बाद में समझ आएगा ज़्यादा अच्छे से. But let's assume कि आपको जो problem given थी, you can solve it directly, then you solve it directly. That is the base case. अगर ऐसा नहीं कर पाए, then reduce the given problem, simplify the given problem into one or more smaller instances of the same problem. And if you manage to do that, you can then delegate the responsibility or give the responsibility of solving those smaller sub problems to someone else. That someone else is your assistant. ठीक है? Programmatically, recursion means you write a function which makes a call to itself. That is why I said you reduce the problem to the same instance of the smaller instances of the same problem. Ab clear hai what is reduction and what is recursion? Right? So I can say every recursive algorithm is a reduction algorithm, but not every reduction algorithm is a recursive algorithm, right? Okay. So ये definition होगी थोड़ी formal to give you an idea of what reduction is, what recursion is. But let's now see a couple of problems, and then we can make this idea more concrete that how recursion actually works, what is the base case, and this thing is also sometimes known as the recursive case. This is sometimes also known as the recursive case. So let's try to take a few examples. So I will start with a very simple example, which is factorial. सबको पता है what is factorial. So let's say you are given a non-negative integer, let's call it n, and I want to design a recursive algorithm to calculate n factorial. This is how I want to calculate. Can anyone tell me what is n factorial? कोई बता सकता है? What is n factorial? मतलब क्या फॉर्मूला होता है n factorial का? Anyone? Exactly. तो प्रिया है यहाँ पर, उसने लिखा है 1 times 2 times 3 times all the way up to n. और फिर सोमेश है, we have तानिया जो उल्टा लिख रहे हैं, तो I will go in that direction. I will start from n and keep multiplying it till I reach 1. So n factorial is n times n minus 1 times n minus 2 times and so on times 1. This is what n factorial is, right? For example, if I want to calculate 5 factorial, then 5 factorial is 5 times 4 times 3 times 2 times 1, and this comes out to be, I think, 120. So this is how factorial works. Now I am given a non-negative integer n, and I am interested in designing a recursive algorithm to calculate the factorial. Okay, so how can I do it? So let's try to analyze this example. Here I have written that 5 factorial is 5 times 4 times 3 times 2 times 1. Or I can say 5 factorial is nothing but it is 5 times 4 times 3 times 2 times 1. What is this? ये क्या चीज है? what is this? What is 4 times 3 times 2 times 1? It is 4 factorial. So I can say 5 factorial is nothing but it is 5 times 4 factorial, right? In general, I can say n factorial is n times n minus 1 factorial. मैं ऐसा लिख सकता हूं, I can write like this. Factorial of a non-negative integer n is n times n minus 1 factorial, right? Okay. Now let's say, assume करते हैं, let's say someone tells you that for any non-negative integer n, someone tells you that n minus 1 factorial is x. It is capital X, और capital X नहीं लेते क्योंकि ऊपर भी x लिया था प्रॉब्लम के लिए. तो let's say someone tells you that n minus 1 factorial for any non-negative integer n is, let's say, a, right? Now if you know this, you know the answer for n minus 1 factorial, then what will be n factorial? It will be n times a, right? Yes or no? For any non-negative integer, किसी ने मेरे को बता दिया that n minus 1 factorial evaluates to a, and I wanted to calculate n factorial. तो मैं क्या करूंगा? I will just multiply a with n and I will get my final answer. सबको clear है ये चीज? Now, computing n minus 1 factorial is a smaller instance of the same problem. Why? Because originally I wanted to calculate factorial of a non-negative integer n, and here also I am calculating a factorial of some integer which is n minus 1. So computing n minus 1 factorial is clearly a smaller instance of the same problem. सबको ये चीज clear है? Why same problem? Because we are again calculating factorial. Why a smaller instance? Because the size of the input has reduced from n to n minus 1. सब agree करते हैं कि calculating n minus 1 factorial is a smaller instance of the same problem. Now, because this is a smaller instance of the same problem, I can give the responsibility of solving this smaller instance to someone else. Who is that someone else? किसको दूंगा मैं responsibility? I can give this responsibility to my assistant, right? So I was given a problem which was to calculate factorial of a non-negative integer n, and I observed that n factorial is nothing but it is n times n minus 1 factorial, and n minus 1 factorial is a smaller instance of the same problem. Therefore, I can give the responsibility of solving this smaller subproblem to my assistant, right? Okay. With that being said, so now that we have a general idea of how the original problem relates to a subproblem, let's try to generalize this. So let's say f of n denotes factorial of a non-negative integer n. Then I can say f of n is nothing but it is n times f of n minus 1. ऐसे लिख सकता हूं मैं? Can I write like this? Factorial of a non-negative integer n is n times f of n minus 1, where f of n minus 1 represents factorial of a non-negative integer n minus 1. ऐसा मैं लिख सकता हूं, right? तो ये जो हमारा तरीका होता है, when you express a problem in terms of itself, this is sometimes also known as a recurrence relation. This is known as a recurrence relation. So typically, you try to connect the original problem with its sub problems by means of a recurrence relation. ये आपका recursive case होता है. तो ठीक है, we have found the recursive case. We have managed to express the original problem in terms of its sub problems. That is a recursive case. दूसरी चीज क्या थी recursion में? Base case. Now, how to think about the base case? Base case के बारे में हम कैसे सोचें? तो let's try to see how to think about base case. So to think about the base case, first go to your recurrence relation and ask yourself, अपने आप से पूछो, why this is a smaller instance of the same problem? ये इसको मैं सब problem क्यों बोल रहा हूं? हम ऊपर देख चुके हैं, this is a smaller instance of the same problem because सर बेस केस में ही सबसे ज्यादा कंफ्यूजन होता है, तो इसके बाद क्लियर हो जाएगा. और ये जो एग्जांपल्स हैं फैक्टोरियल और अगले भी जो एग्जांपल दूंगा, दे विल बी सिंपल एग्जांपल, बट द सेम कांसेप्ट्स ये हर जगह लगने वाले हैं इन एवरी क्वेश्चन, राइट? ठीक है. तो फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल, टू थिंक अबाउट द बेस केस, गो टू योर recurrence relation and ask yourself why this is a smaller instance of the same problem. why this is a sub problem? तो हमने ऊपर देखा था this is a smaller instance of the same problem because originally I wanted to calculate factorial of n. Here I am calculating the factorial of n minus 1. So the size of the input has reduced. Now can you tell me which is that variable that controls the size? कौन सा variable है that controls the size? Which variable is controlling the size? It is n. So that is the first step. The variable that controls the size of the problem is n. इसका मतलब क्या है कि my base case will be in terms of n. My base case will be in terms of n. Now, next ask yourself, what is the smallest possible valid value of n for which my recursive case fails? n की वो कौन सी smallest value है for which the recursive case fails? तो याद रखो n is a non-negative integer, मतलब it is greater than equal to 0. तो what is the smallest possible valid value of n for which the recursive case fails? तो काफी लोग 0 लिख रहे हैं. So let's try to see कि 0 पे fail करता है या नहीं करता. तो if I put or if I substitute 0 in place of n, I will get f of 0 equals to 0 times f of 0 minus 1, which is f of minus 1. Now, what is this? This is factorial of negative 1. Is it possible to have factorial of negative 1? क्या नेगेटिव नंबर का फैक्टोरियल होता है? नहीं होता. तो मतलब when n is 0, my recurrence is failing, right? When n is 0, my recurrence is failing because I'm trying to make a call which does not make any sense. तो इससे हमें ये पता चला कि ठीक है, base case will be in terms of n, and when n equals to 0, that is when you will hit the base case. ये दूसरा point. Third point. Now, what does f of n equals to 0 means? इसका मतलब क्या है? f of n denotes factorial of a number n. f of n equals to 0 denotes factorial of 0. What is factorial of 0? कौन बताएगा? What is factorial of 0? It is 1, right? So this is what my base case looks like. मैंने रिकर्जन में बताया था जब मैंने बेस केस के बारे में डिस्कस किया था कि if the given problem can be solved directly, then you solve it directly. तो whenever the value of n is 0, I can solve it directly. मेरे को किसी रेफरेंस की जरूरत नहीं है. So this is what base case is. Voice is not coming. मेरा ऑडियो क्लियर नहीं है क्या? I think
It's clear.
It is clear, right? So Donita, please check your internet connection. I think आपके साइड से कुछ प्रॉब्लम हो सकती है. ठीक है, तो सबको ये चीज क्लियर है. We first managed to derive a recurrence relationship, then we moved to the base case. Base case में हम कैसे सोचेंगे? Go to a recurrence and ask yourself why this is a smaller instance of the same problem. ये जो मैंने लिखा है f of n minus 1, why this is a smaller instance of the same problem? Because originally I wanted to calculate factorial of n, and here I am calculating factorial of n minus 1. So clearly the size of my problem has reduced from n to n minus 1. Now, which is that variable that controls the size? It is n. So my base case will be in terms of n. Now go to the recurrence and ask yourself for what value of n the recurrence relation fails. Clearly, the recurrence fails when n equals to 0. How to unmute? आपको कुछ पूछना है मुझसे? तो I think there will be an option to raise a hand. I think there will be an option to raise a hand. तो आप उसको क्लिक करोगे, then I can unmute you. ठीक है, तो when n equals to 0, that is when you will hit the base case. अब because when n equals to 0 you will hit the base case, मतलब recurrence relation आपको f of 0 की value नहीं देगा. You have to solve it yourself. Now what is f of 0? That is what is factorial of 0? That is 1. तो सबको ये चीज clear है how we derive the recurrence relation and how we derive the base case, right? So now that we have written the base case and the recurrence, let's try to implement this. इसको implement करते हैं, तो I will use C++. ठीक है, and see if it works correctly or not. So what I can do is, let me create a function which I am calling factorial, या f नाम रख लेते हैं, and this function accepts a single argument which is the non-negative integer n for which you want to calculate the factorial, right? And this function f will calculate the factorial and it will return the factorial. तो इसका return type क्या होगा? What will be the return type of this function? कोई बता सकता है जिसने C++ या Java पढ़ी हो पहले? it will be int, right? So I have a function f which accepts a single argument, which is the non-negative integer for which you want to calculate the factorial, and it returns an integer because factorial of a number is also an integer. Now, first of all, we can write the base case. देखो हमने जब derive किया expression, तो we first derived the recurrence and then we derived base case. But अब आपके ऊपर है, आपको base case पहले लिखना है या recurrence पहले लिखना है, depends on you. So what was the base case? If n equals to 0, that is, I want to calculate the 0 factorial. Then I know that 0 factorial is 1, so I can directly return 1. That's it. That is your base case. What is your recursive case? Your recursive case is, if I'm given a non-negative integer n, which is not 0, then factorial of n is n times factorial of n minus 1. So I can return n times f of n minus 1. सबको ये प्रोग्राम क्लियर है? मतलब it is there is nothing fancy here. Very simple. जो हमने recurrence और base case derive किया था, we have written exactly same thing, right? Okay. So let me just, let's say I want to calculate factorial of, let's say 5. So let's see if it works. Answer should be 120, and we're getting 120, right? If you want to calculate factorial of 0, then I should get 1, and we are getting 1. So matlab this program is working correctly. Let's say the value of n is 3, so 3 factorial is 6, and we are getting 6. So सबको clear है that yes, this program is working correctly. Our intuition using which we built the recurrence and the base case is correct. अब होता क्या है कि आप पूछ सकते, अपने आप से कहोगे कि यार ठीक है, काम कर रहा है, ठीक है, बात समझ आ गई, but how is the assistant solving that sub problem correctly? कैसे ठीक कर रहा है? ये बहुत कॉमन डाउट होता है काफी लोगों को कि how can I trust recursion? कि recursion will solve that sub problem correctly, right? So there are different ways in which you can analyze a recursive program. You can trace a recursion, and one of the ways is by means of a call stack. Another way is by means of a recursion tree. सबको function call stack पता है क्या होता है? कि आपके पास functions जब आप call करते जाओगे तो they are put on a call stack. सबको पता है what is a function call stack, hopefully, right? So we will try to analyze this program using a function call stack. We will try to trace the recursion and see how that assistant is solving that problem. ठीक है? So let's assume I want to calculate 5 factorial. That is, the value of n is 5. This is what I want to calculate. तो ये मेरा call stack है. This is my function call stack. And initially यहाँ पर बस main function होगा हमारा, right? And from the main function, I will make a call to f, and I will pass the value as 5 because I want to calculate 5 factorial. So a new stack frame will be pushed onto the call stack. This is a new stack frame for the function f, and here the value of n is 5. Now if we go back to our program, हम क्या कर रहे थे? हम पहले कंडीशन चेक करेंगे. Is 5 equals to 0? Is 5 equal to 0? नहीं है. It is not equal to 0. So you will ignore this and you will come here. That is, you will return the value of 5 times f of 4. ठीक है? So here I will return 5 times f of 4. Now to compute f of 5, this makes a call to f of 4. So another stack frame will be pushed with the value of n as 4. Again, 4 is not equal to 0. So you will return 4 times f of n minus 1, which is f of 3. Then another stack frame is pushed onto the call stack, and this time the value of n is 3. Again, 3 is not equal to 0. So you will return 3 times f of 2. Another stack frame is pushed. This time n equals to 2. You will return 2 times f of 1. Another stack frame is pushed. N equals to 1. And you will return 1 times f of 0. And finally, one more stack frame is pushed. And this time n equals to 0. And now what? When n equals to 0, you will hit the base case, right? As soon as n becomes 0, you will hit the base case. अभी तक सबको clear है हमने क्या किया है? I'm just tracing the recursion. I'm just tracing the function calls. I'm tracing the recursive calls. As soon as n becomes 0, so let's get back to our program. तो हम क्या कर रहे थे? If n becomes 0, what do? We return the value 1. That is, we actually start computing value. We stop making recursive calls and we start computing values. So at this point, what will happen is this function will return 1. So this will be removed from the call stack and one value will be replaced here. F of 0 is now 1. Now you will calculate 1 times 1, which is 1. This stack frame is removed and 1 is substituted here. Now 2 times 1 is 2. This stack frame will be removed and 2 will be returned. 3 times 2 is 6. So this will be removed and 6 will be returned here. 4 times 6 is 24. This will be removed and 24 will come here. 5 times 24 is 120. This stack frame is also removed and 120 is returned, which is printed, which was the factorial of 5. तो सबको क्लियर है हाउ द रिकर्जन एक्चुअली वर्क्स. हमने बस यहां तक का काम किया था और ये सारी चीजें हमने रिकर्जन को बोल दी थी करने के लिए. तो सबको क्लियर है हाउ रिकर्जन वर्क्स, व्हाई वी आर गेटिंग द राइट आंसर, व्हाई आवर असिस्टेंट इज सॉल्विंग द प्रॉब्लम करेक्टली, राइट? So call stack is one way in which you can trace a recursion. There is another way जो अगले एग्जांपल में देखेंगे. But I want to make a couple of points. First of all, is the importance of base case. If there is no base case in your program, in your recursive program, in your recursive function, then you will keep making recursive calls. आप करते जाओगे, you will make infinite number of recursive calls until your call stack runs out of memory, right? So base case is essential. Without base case, there is no recursive program. That is the first point. The second point, always we try to reduce the problem or simplify the problem into smaller instances. Why smaller instances? So that from the original problem with each recursive call, you move towards the base case. That is why the recursion says always reduce the problem into smaller instance of the same problem. अगर ऐसा नहीं करोगे आप, then you will never hit the base case. Again, you will enter into infinite recursion and you will run out of stack memory. तो call stack में कितनी मेमोरी होती है सुमेश पूछ रहा है. तो सुमेश, कॉल स्टैक की मेमोरी फिक्स्ड होती है. फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल, अगर आपको पता याद होगा, डायग्राम बहुत पहले पढ़ाते हैं प्रोग्रामिंग जब हम पढ़ते हैं कि टिपिकली योर सिस्टम मेमोरी इज डिवाइडेड इनटू आई थिंक 4 पार्ट्स. वी हैव द हीप सेक्शन ऑफ द मेमोरी, वी हैव द स्टैक सेक्शन ऑफ द मेमोरी, और इसके अलावा क्या होते थे, एक टेक्स्ट सेक्शन होता था जहां पर आपका कोड जाता था, एंड वी हैव आई थिंक द ग्लोबल सेक्शन ऑफ द मेमोरी, राइट? तो हीप इज बाउंडेड बाय योर सिस्टम मेमोरी, राइट? ये सिस्टम मेमोरी आपकी जो है उससे बाउंडेड होगा, बट स्टैक जो होगा that depends, it depends on the system, that depends on some other compiler or language, etc. But it is fixed. Stack memory is fixed, call stack is fixed. So exactly, the stack overflow तभी होता है when you have exceeded the limit, the size of the stack. So if you do not have a base condition, you will encounter a situation where your stack will overflow, your call stack will overflow, right? आप ये करके देखना, उसमें क्या कहते हैं, किसी भी प्रोग्रामिंग लैंग्वेज में ट्राई कर लेना. मैं नहीं करूंगा वरना मेरा सिस्टम हैंग हो जाएगा. आप ट्राई कर लेना, बेस केस हटा देना, एंड देन ट्राई टू सी व्हाट हैपेंस. वो चलता रहेगा, राइट? तो सबको क्लियर है हाउ वी कैन ट्रेस रिकर्जन, व्हाई वी नीड अ बेस केस, एंड व्हाई वी ऑलवेज ट्राई टू सिंप्लीफाई द प्रॉब्लम और रिड्यूस द प्रॉब्लम इनटू स्मॉलर इंस्टेंस ऑफ द सेम प्रॉब्लम. क्योंकि अगर सब प्रॉब्लम में डिवाइड नहीं करोगे अपनी गिवन प्रॉब्लम को, यू विल नेवर हिट द बेस केस. So is the idea of recursion clear? What is base case? What is recursive case? How to think about the base case? And why base case is important? ये सारी points clear है सबको? तो ठीक है, let's do another problem. मतलब it's a very traditional problem. Factorial काफी लोग कराते हैं initially, and I think it is a good problem to introduce to the concept of recursion. एक और काफी traditional problem है, which is मतलब classic problem, which is to find the given a non-negative integer, find the nth Fibonacci number. सबको पता है what are Fibonacci numbers? I will give you a non-negative integer n, and I want you to calculate the nth Fibonacci number. So let's try to see कि वहां पर recurrence कैसे बनती है, वहां पर base case कैसे बनता है, और वहां पर how we analyze the recursion, right? So the second problem I will discuss is Fibonacci numbers. So what are Fibonacci numbers? So the 0th Fibonacci number is 0. The first Fibonacci number is 1. The second Fibonacci number is the sum of the first and the 0th Fibonacci number, that is 0 plus 1, which is 1. The third Fibonacci number is the sum of the first and the second Fibonacci number, so 1 plus 1 is 2. The fourth Fibonacci number is the sum of the second and the third Fibonacci number, so 1 plus 2, that is 3. Then we have the fifth Fibonacci number, which is the sum of the third and the fourth Fibonacci number, which is 5, and so on. ऐसे ही चलता रहेगा, right? Now I will give you a non-negative integer n, and I want you to find the nth Fibonacci number. I want you to design a recursive program to calculate the nth Fibonacci number. तो कैसे करेंगे? How do you solve this problem recursively? I have given you a non-negative integer n, and I want you to find the nth Fibonacci number. So let's assume once again we assume, let's say someone tells you that the n minus 1th Fibonacci number is a. किसी ने बता दिया आपको कि the n minus 1th Fibonacci number is a, and someone tells you that the n minus 2th Fibonacci number is b. So now that you know the n minus 1th Fibonacci number and the n minus 2th Fibonacci number, how can you calculate the nth Fibonacci number? कैसे करेंगे? It is a plus b, right? Now computing the n minus 1th Fibonacci number or computing the n minus 2th Fibonacci number, these are clearly smaller instances of the same problem. Why? Because original problem was to calculate the nth Fibonacci number, and here we are computing the n minus 1th and the n minus 2th Fibonacci number. So clearly the size of the input has reduced and we are solving the same problem. All right. Now, because computing n minus 1th and n minus 2th Fibonacci number is a smaller instance of the same problem, I can give the responsibility of solving these sub problems to who? किसको दूंगा मैं responsibility? किसको दूंगा? To my assistant, right? To my assistant. So my assistant will solve these sub problems for me, and once I get back the result, all I have to do is I have to add them and I will get my final answer, right? Simple hai. So let's try to generalize this relationship between the original problem and the sub problems. So let's say f of n denotes the nth Fibonacci number. Then I can say f of n, that is the nth Fibonacci number, is f of n minus 1 plus f of n minus 2. ऐसा लिख सकता हूं मैं. I can write like this, and this is my recurrence. This is my recurrence relationship. The nth Fibonacci number is the sum of the n minus 1th and the n minus 2th Fibonacci number, right? And because these are smaller instances of the same problem, I will give the responsibility of solving this to my assistant. कभी कभी क्या होता है, लोग कहते हैं you give the responsibility of solving this problem to recursion. Recursion ही बोल देते हैं, मतलब ठीक है, you can say, right? Okay. Now base case. तो again we follow the same steps. जो ये तरीका है जो मैंने बताया था आपको, base case, how to think about it, it will work for 99% of problems, right? Of course, अगर आप if you practice like around 50-100 problems of recursion and DP, you will get more intuition कि कैसे base case को सोचते हैं, but this is a mechanical way and I think it works for 95% to 99% of problems. तो क्या तरीका था? First ask yourself why these are smaller instances of the same problem. These are smaller instances of the same problem because originally I wanted to compute Fibonacci of some number n, and here also I'm computing the Fibonacci number of some number n minus 1 and n minus 2. So these are instances of the same problem. Why these are smaller instances? Because the size of the input has reduced. From n we got down to n minus 1 and we got down to n minus 2. So which is that variable that controls the size? कौन सा variable है जो size control कर रहा है? It is n. So n is the variable that controls the size. So my base case will be in terms of n. That is the first point. My base case will be in terms of n. Second point. Second point क्या था? Now ask yourself, for what value of n will my recursive case fail? What is the smallest possible valid value of n for which the recursive case fails? तो कुछ लोगों ने कहा 0 के लिए फेल होगा, किसी ने कहा 1 के लिए फेल होगा. तो let's try to see. तो first of all n is non-negative, so it will start from 0. So let's try to see whether my recurrence fails for 0 or not. So if I substitute 0 in place of n, I will get f of 0 equals to f of 0 minus 1, which is f of minus 1, plus f of 0 minus 2, which is f of minus 2. Now what does it mean? It means the minus 1th Fibonacci number and minus 2th Fibonacci number, which does not make any sense, right? So clearly when n equals to 0, my recurrence fails. That is the first point. Is there any other value of n for which the recursive case fails? Yes. When f is 1, then this recurrence evaluates to f of n minus 1, that is f of 0, plus f of n minus 2, that is f of minus 1. Again, this recursive call does not make any sense. So when n equals to 0 and n equals to 1, your recurrence relation fails. What about f of 2? F of 2 according to this recurrence is f of 2 minus 1, that is f of 1, plus f of 2 minus 2, which is f of 0. This is valid. This works correctly. F of 1 is a valid function call, f of 0 is a valid function call. So this will not be a base case. These two values, when n equals to 0 or n equals to 1, that is when we will hit the base case. सबको ये चीज clear है? So for n equals to 0 or n equals to 1, you will hit the base case. Now third point क्या था कि ये प्रॉब्लम रिकरेंस तो सॉल्व नहीं करेगी, तो वी हैव टू सॉल्व इट आवरसेल्फ. तो व्हाट डज f of n equals to 0 means? It means the zeroth Fibonacci number. क्या होता है zeroth Fibonacci number? What is the zeroth Fibonacci number? It is 0. And what is the first Fibonacci number? It is 1. So these two conditions form the base case. That's it. So we have the recurrence and we have the base case. So let's try to implement. इसको अब कोड करके देखते हैं. Okay. So इसका नाम फैक्टोरियल रख देते हैं अभी के लिए, just to make things more clear. Factorial, and here also we have a factorial, and here also we have a factorial. Sorry, here also we have a factorial. Now what I can do is I will create another function. Let me call it Fibonacci. So या Fibo नाम रख देते हैं, and it accepts a single argument, which is the non-negative integer for which you want to calculate the Fibonacci number. Now what is the return type? So because this function computes an Fibonacci number and that is an integer, the return type will also be int. Okay. अब क्या करना है इस फंक्शन में? First you can write the base case. दोनों चीज आप लिख सकते हो पहले ही, तो जो भी पहले लिखना है you can write it. Recursive case. What is the base case? When n is equals to 0, f of 0 is 0. When n equals to 1, f of 1 is 1. So I can say if n equals to 0 or n equals to 1, then return n. अगर 0 है तो 0th Fibonacci number is 0. If it is 1, the first Fibonacci number is 1. ठीक है? You can break this condition into two parts या फिर एक साथ ऐसे लिख सकते हो. Depends on you. सबको clear है base case? Is the base case clear to everyone? बताओ. ठीक है. Now what was the recursive case? The recursive case was if n is not 0 or it is not 1, मतलब it is greater than 1, then the nth Fibonacci number is the sum of the n minus 1th and the n minus 2th Fibonacci number. So I can say return Fibo of n minus 1 plus Fibo of n minus 2. That's it. So that completes your entire program. So let's try to test it out. इसको comment कर देता हूं मैं. Okay, so I can say see out Fibo of, let's say I want to calculate the fifth Fibonacci number. तो fifth Fibonacci number मेरे ख्याल से 5 ही होता है. तो let's try to run this. We are getting 5. I think fifth Fibonacci number हमारा 5 ही होता है. तो यहाँ पर आप देख सकते हो the fifth Fibonacci number is 5. Sixth क्या होगा? It is the sum of the fourth and the fifth. That is, it should be 8. So let's try to do it. For sixth क्या होगा? It should be 8. So we are getting 8. Seventh क्या होगा? It should be 13. I think. So we are getting 13. So this program is working correctly. तो सबको clear है how we calculated, how we implemented this program, why this is a recursive case, why these are the base cases, right? ठीक है. तो let's do another problem. एक और problem कर लेते हैं and then maybe I can because it is almost 7:50. तो उसके पहले what I want to do is I want to analyze this, क्योंकि this is a different way. This function, it's a different analysis. So let's try to analyze that why we are able to calculate this function correctly, why the assistant is solving the problem correctly. And this time, instead of using the call stack, I will use a recursion tree, right? So you can use a call stack, but recursion tree is more efficient, especially when you are able to simplify the given problem into more instances, more than one instances of the same problem. So recursion tree ज़्यादा easy रहता है to analyze. So let's try to see how we can analyze recursion using a recursion tree. So suppose I want to calculate the fifth Fibonacci number. This is what I want to calculate. That is the value of n is 5. So let's try to see how recursion tree works. So what is the original problem? The original problem is f of 5. Now to calculate the fifth Fibonacci number, I need, sir, call stack and recursion tree साथ साथ नहीं बनते. तो call stack, देखो, calls recursion tree का फायदा ये होता है, आपको समझ आएगा when we go through this example, कि आप मैनुअली उसको काफी अच्छे से एनालाइज कर सकते हो. इंटरनली दोनों चीजें बराबर है. डिफरेंस है ये विजुअलाइजेशन में, राइट? वहां पर स्टैक फ्रेम पुट करने पड़ेंगे, फिर उसको रिमूव करना पड़ेगा. यहाँ पर चीजें ट्रैक करना बहुत सिंपल होता है. अभी आपको समझ आ जाएगा जब हम ये पूरा एग्जांपल देख लेंगे. सो स्पेशली फॉर रिकर्सिव फंक्शंस वेयर यू रिड्यूस द प्रॉब्लम इनटू मोर देन वन इंस्टेंसेस, आप रिकर्जन ट्री के साथ जाओ इफ यू वांट टू एनालाइज. ठीक है, अदरवाइज कॉल स्टैक के साथ जा सकते हैं, देयर इज नो प्रॉब्लम. ओके, सो let's say I want to calculate the fifth Fibonacci number. So this is my original call. Originally I will call, this is my first call, I will call f of 5, right? Now to calculate the fifth Fibonacci number, मेरे को कौन से दो और Fibonacci number चाहिए? I need the fourth and the third Fibonacci number, yes or no? If I want to calculate f of 5, I need to know what is f of 4 and f of 3. So f of 5 needs to know f of 4 and f of 3. These are the two Fibonacci numbers that I need to know if I want to calculate f of 5. Now, what does f of 4 need? To calculate the fourth Fibonacci number, I need to know what is f of 3 and f of 2. To calculate f of 3, I need to know what is f of 2 and f of 1. To calculate f of 2, I need to know what is f of 1 and f of 0. To calculate f of 2, again, I need to know what is f of 1 and f of 0. To calculate f of 3, I need to know what is f of 2 and f of 1. To calculate f of 2, I need to know f of 1 and f of 0. तो आई थिंक सही बनाया मैंने, कोई दिक्कत है यहाँ पर? तो 4 के लिए आई नीड 4 and 3, और 3 आई नीड टू नो 2 and 1, 2 के लिए आई नीड 1 and 0, 4 के लिए आई नीड 3 and 2, 3 के लिए आई नीड 2 and 1, 1 and 0, and आई थिंक सही बनाया मैंने. तो आई विल नॉट एक्सपैंड दीज नोड्स बिकॉज दिस इज वेयर यू विल हिट द बेस केस. So I don't need to expand this because to calculate f of 1 or f of 0, I can calculate it directly. You don't need any other function call, right? So this is your base case. Now, this original problem is the root of the recursion tree. So the root of the recursion tree denotes the original problem, right? And these leaf nodes, ये आपके जितने leaf nodes हैं, they denote the base case, right? These denote your base case. Okay, so now that we have drawn the recursion tree, how do we trace the recursion tree? Basically, how do we traverse the recursion tree so that we simulate the call stack? अब हमें इस recursion tree को traverse करना है, that is we need to visit all the nodes in a way that we simulate the call stack. मतलब call stack पे कैसे काम करता है recursion tree के use करके पता करना है, ठीक है? तो always remember to traverse a recursion tree, you always move in the top down direction, left to right. Top down, left to right. इसका मतलब क्या है? Let's try to see. So top down, left to right. इस डायरेक्शन में अगर आप जाओगे, अपने ट्री को ट्रैवर्स करोगे, then it is guaranteed that your traversal is equivalent to simulating the call stack. तो let me change the color. दूसरे कलर का पेन ले लेते हैं. Let me choose this. So we start from here. We start from here, right? हमने यहां से शुरुआत की अपनी. We reach f of 5. Now always go top down, left to right. तो left की तरफ चलते हैं. This will make a call to f of 4. F of 4 will make a call to f of 3. F of 3 will make a call to f of 2. And f of 2 will make a call to f of 1. At this point, you hit the base case. तो ऊपर चलो वापस. तो यहां से हमने U-turn मार लिया. And f of 1 क्या होता है? What is f of 1? F of 1 is 1. तो f of 1 will return 1. इसने 1 return किया. Now यहाँ से I will go to f of 0 because we always move top to down, left to right. तो f of 0 पे गए. Again you hit the base case, so you will return यहाँ से. Now what is f of 0? F of 0 is 0. So this function, अब जब आप यहाँ पहुंचे f of 2 पे, then this function f of 2 receives the value 0 from f of 0 and 1 from f of 1. So it will return what? It will return 1 plus 0. तो इसने return किया 1 plus 0, that is 1. फिर यहां से आप वहां गए f of 1 के पास. Again you hit the base case, तो U-turn मार लिया, यहां से वापस चलो. And f of 1 returns 1. अब आए आप f of 3 पे. तो f of 3 receives the value 1 from f of 2 and 1 from f of 1. So it will add it and ऊपर पुश कर देगा. तो ये इसने पुश किया वैल्यू 2 को. Then I go to f of 2. F of 2 will make a call to f of 1. यहाँ पर you will hit the base case, you will return. F of 1 will return the value 1. Then you will go to f of 0. It will return the value 0. So f of 2 receives the value 1 from f of 1 and 0 from f of 0. तो add करेगा और ऊपर push करेगा. तो 1 plus 0 is 1. तो it will push 1. Now f of 4 के पास 2 आया f of 3 से and 1 आया f of 2 से. So it will add it and it will push 3. Now f of 5 will then make a call to f of 3. F of 3 will make a call to f of 2. F of 2 will make a call to f of 1. F of 1 will then return the value 1. Then I will go to f of 0, which will return a value 0. So f of 2 will then return a value 1 plus 0, that is 1. Then यहाँ से हम गए f of 1 के पास. Again you hit the base case and this returns a value 1. So f of 3 receives the value 1 from f of 2 and 1 from f of 1. It will add it एंड इसको पुश करेगा, तो 1 + 1 is 2. Now f of 5, जब आप यहां पर आ जाओगे, f of 5 receives a value 3 from f of 4 and 2 from f of 3. It will add it and push. So 3 + 2 is 5. So the fifth Fibonacci number is 5. सबको क्लियर है? बेसिकली मैंने कॉल स्टैक को बस सिमुलेट किया है बाय मींस ऑफ अ रिकर्जन ट्री, एंड इट इज इजी. कॉल स्टैक में क्या होता है, आपको स्टैक फ्रेम्स डालने पड़ते, फिर ट्रैक करना पड़ता, रिमूव करना पड़ता, इट बिकम्स वेरी क्लटर्ड. बट यहां पर यस, इफ यू मूव in top down, left to right direction, you are simulating the recursion call stack. तो सबको क्लियर है why this function works, and yes, you are getting the right answer, right? Okay, तो ठीक है, this was about recursion. What is, I think आप सबको क्लियर होगा कि what is recursion, what is a recursive case, what is a base case, why we need a base case, why we should always reduce the problem into smaller instance of the same problem, and how we can trace recursion or how we can analyze recursion. What we can do is maybe we can do another program on recursion, another example on recursion. So let's say एक और example देखते हैं. Trace नहीं करेंगे, I will just उसको बस analyze recurrence और base case बना के देखेंगे, and then we can discuss a little bit about linked list and we can finish the session. ठीक है, 1 घंटा हो चुका है क्योंकि. So let me take a simple example. So let's say you are given an array of integers, right? And you want to calculate the sum of elements in the integer. मतलब बहुत सिंपल प्रोग्राम है, फॉर लूप से हो जाएगा, व्हाइल लूप, किसी भी लूप से हो जाएगा, बट यू वांट टू डिजाइन अ रिकर्सिव प्रोग्राम. ठीक है, सबको क्लियर है प्रॉब्लम? यू आर गिवन एन array that contains n integers. You just want to calculate the sum of n integers in that array recursively. So for example, if my array contains the value 1, 2 and 3, then my answer should be 6. सबको क्लियर है what we want to do? बताओ, is this thing clear what we are trying to do? तो ठीक है, let's say we are given an array A and the size of this array is n. Let's assume it has n elements, right? And the first element or the element at the 0th index is A0, the element at the first index or the second element is A1, and so on. The last element, that is the element at the n-1th index, is an-1. So I have an array of size n, and these are the elements: 0th index, first index, and so on, n-1th index. Now I want to calculate the sum of elements in the array, that is A0 plus A1 plus so on plus an-1. This is what I want to calculate recursively. तो कैसे कर सकते हैं? How can I calculate the sum of elements in the array recursively? So again, let's say, तो देखो बहुत सारे तरीके हैं, there are, इस प्रॉब्लम को करने के बहुत सारे तरीके हैं. I will discuss one, और बाकी चीजें आप खुद ही derive कर सकते हो. ठीक है सूर्यांश? तो let's try to see how to solve this problem recursively. तो हम सेम पैटर्न फॉलो करेंगे जो पहले किया था. Let's assume someone tells you that the sum of elements in the array starting from the first index is, let's say, x. Someone tells you that the sum of elements in the array starting from the first index is x. If you know this information, then what will be your sum? अगर आपको ये पता है कि the sum of elements starting from first index to n-1 index is x, sir, please ask questions in Q&A section. Please ask your questions in Q&A sections. तो मेरे को कोई क्वेश्चन पूछना नहीं है, मतलब टाइप करना पड़ेगा. अच्छा, आई थिंक लक्ष्य ने
सर इट्स फॉर द ऑडियंस.
ओके, सो कोई बात नहीं, आप यहाँ भी पूछो. Q&A अलग विंडो खोलनी पड़ती है, लैपटॉप की स्क्रीन इट इज लिमिटेड, तो चैट में ही पूछो जो क्वेश्चन पूछना है, दैट विल बी फाइन विद मी. ठीक है, तो वी वांट टू कैलकुलेट द सम ऑफ एलिमेंट्स इन द array that has n elements. Now I am saying someone tells you that the sum of elements in the array starting from the first index is x. अगर आपको किसी ने बता दिया, then what will be your sum? आपका सम क्या होगा? It will be a0 plus x. Yes or no? यही होगा आपका सम. बताओ. Right? Now, computing the sum of elements in the array starting from the first index is clearly a smaller instance of the same problem. Why? Because originally I wanted to calculate the sum of all the elements in the array. That is, another way of saying that is, I wanted to calculate the sum of all the elements starting from the 0th index. और अभी क्या कर रहा हूं? I am calculating the sum of elements starting from the first index. So clearly, this is a smaller instance of the same problem. And because this is a smaller instance of the same problem, I can give the responsibility of solving this smaller subproblem to recursion or to my assistant. Yes or no? सबको ये चीज clear है? That why computing the sum of elements starting from the first index is a smaller instance of the same problem, because the original problem was to calculate sum of all the elements, or to calculate sum of all the elements starting from the 0th index. ठीक है? So because this is a smaller instance of the same problem, we give it to recursion. So let's try to generalize this relationship between the original problem and the subproblem using a recurrence relation. So let's say I have f of I, which denotes the sum of elements in the array starting from the ith index, right? This is what f of I is. F of I denotes the sum of elements in the array starting from the ith index. Then f of I is nothing but it is a of I, that is the ith element, plus f of I plus 1, where f of I plus 1 denotes the sum of elements in the array starting from the I plus 1th index. सबको ये reference clear है? Is this reference clear to everyone? If f of I denotes the sum of elements in the array starting from the ith index, then it is nothing but it is a of I, that is the ith element, plus the sum of elements starting from the I plus 1th index. Now what was the original problem? Original problem क्या थी हमारी? It was to find the sum of all the elements in the array. That is to find the sum of all the elements starting from the 0th index. So what should be the initial value of I? I की initial value क्या होनी चाहिए? It should be 0, right? So f of 0 denotes sum of elements in the array starting from the 0th index, right? यही थी original problem हमारी. यही है हमारी original problem when f of I equals to 0. Sum of elements in the array starting from the 0th index. Just a different way of saying that you want to calculate the sum of all the elements in the array, right? So now we have the recurrence. Let's now talk about the base case. अब इसका base case देखते हैं कैसे सोचेंगे. तो unlike the previous two problem जहां पर एक ही variable था हमारे पास, we have just a single variable which was n. यहाँ पर we have different variables. So let's try to see. We have a variable I and we have a variable n which denotes the size of the array. So let's try to think कि base case कैसे सोचेंगे. First of all, first step, ask yourself why this is a smaller instance of the same problem. So this is a smaller instance of the same problem because here I'm trying to calculate the sum of elements starting from the ith index, and here I'm trying to calculate the sum of elements in the array starting from the I plus 1th index. So clearly the size of the array of which elements I want to calculate the sum is getting reduced. Yes or no? Reduce हो रहा है या नहीं हो रहा? बताओ. यहां पर आप ith एलिमेंट से लेकर लास्ट एलिमेंट तक का सम कैलकुलेट कर रहे थे, एंड यहां पर आप I plus 1th से लेकर लास्ट एलिमेंट का सम कैलकुलेट कर रहे हो. So clearly the size of the problem is getting reduced. Now which is the variable that controls the size? कौन सा वेरिएबल है यहां पर जो आपका साइज कंट्रोल कर रहा है? n नहीं है. Which is that variable जिससे आपको पता चल रहा है कि साइज कंट्रोल हो रहा है? I. Exactly. यहां पर हम I से n-1 तक जा रहे थे, यहां हम I plus 1 से n-1 जा रहे हैं. तो क्लियरली I को यूज करके ही हम अपनी प्रॉब्लम का साइज रिड्यूस कर रहे हैं. So my base case will be in terms of I. That is the first point, right? Second point, तो प्रियम लिख रहा है f of I minus 1. मतलब क्वेश्चन क्या है? एक बार क्लैरिफाई कर दो. तो उसको देख लेते हैं बाद में, पहले इसको कंटिन्यू करते हैं. A of I plus f of I minus 1. Just give me a second. Just give me a second. Okay. Won't it be that? तो वो भी हो सकता है, उसको बाद में देख लेंगे. दिस इज वन वे जो मैंने बताया. मैंने क्या कहा है कि f of I denotes the sum of elements in the array starting from the ith index, and f of I is nothing but it is a of I, that is the ith element, plus f of I plus 1, which is the sum of elements in the array starting from the I plus 1th index. Now हमने ये देखा कि the recurrence जो हमारा base case है that will be in terms of I. That is the first point. Second point क्या है कि you have to ask at what value of I will I hit the base case. At what value of I will I hit the base case? ये आपको अपने आप से क्वेश्चन पूछना है. At what value of I you will hit the base case? तो go to your recurrence and see that with every recursive call your I increments by 1, right? हर recursive call के बाद आपका I जो है that increments by 1. That is the first thing. Second, I starts from 0. So if I starts from 0 and with each recursive call it increments by 1, so at what point you will stop? Or what is the smallest possible valid value of I for which this recursive case does not work? I की वो कौन सी वैल्यू है जिस पे recursive case नहीं वर्क करेगा? 0 से I शुरू हो रहा है and it increments with call, तो 0 से 1 जाएगा, 2 जाएगा and so on. Ultimately वो n तक पहुंच जाएगा. तो अगर मैं I को n मान लेता हूं यहां पर, substitute n here, then f of n equals to a of n, और ये आपका इंडेक्स एरर आ गया यहां पर. This is an index error. क्योंकि if I have an array of size n, indices exist from 0 to n minus 1. So clearly when I equals to n, recurrence will fail. सबको ये चीज क्लियर है? So when I equals to n, I will hit the base case. Is this thing clear? Now ask yourself, what is f of n? f of n क्या है फिर? मतलब ये प्रॉब्लम खुद सॉल्व करनी है. तो what is f of n? First of all, what does f of n denote? तो f of I denotes sum of elements in the array starting from the ith index. तो f of n denotes sum of elements in the array starting from the nth index. मतलब इस array का sum बताता है f of n. अब ये array क्या है? What is an array that starts at the nth index and ends at the n minus 1th index? मतलब ये empty array को denote करता है. What is the sum of elements in an empty array? क्या होता है? 0. तो f of n will be 0. This is my base case. सबको क्लियर है? What is my base case? Right? अच्छा, ऊपर किसी ने, मैं नाम भूल गया, तो once again there are different ways you can build a recurrence. एक और तरीका हो सकता है कि let's say शिखा पांडे करिए. नो सर, शिखा क्या क्लियर नहीं है? बेस केस क्लियर नहीं है? प्लीज एक्सप्लेन अगेन. ठीक है, तो शिखा पहले तो ये बताओ कि ये चीज क्लियर है कि माय बेस केस विल बी इन टर्म्स ऑफ आई. ये चीज क्लियर है? माय बेस केस विल बी इन टर्म्स ऑफ आई. इज दिस थिंग क्लियर? ये चीज क्लियर है कि दैट व्हेन i इक्वल्स टू n I will hit the base case. I starts from 0 and it increments by 1 with each recursive call. तो आप कब तक उसको बढ़ाते रहोगे i को before you stop? Or what is the smallest possible valid value of I for which the recurrence fails? तो I when n होगा you will stop. ये चीज क्लियर है? सेकंड पॉइंट बताओ. yes or no लिख दो, then I can move forward. ये नहीं क्लियर है? ठीक है, तो I के टर्म्स में होगा मेरा. अब शिखा ये बताओ कि I की इनिशियल वैल्यू क्या थी? I की इनिशियल वैल्यू 0 होगी? yes or no? Because that was my original problem. ये तो क्लियर है. तो I की इनिशियल वैल्यू इज 0. And from the recurrence we can see, recurrence पे जाओ, we can see that with every recursive call we increment the value of I by 1. मतलब हर recursive call के बाद I की वैल्यू इंक्रीमेंट होगी. तो 0 होगी, फिर 1 होगी, फिर 2 होगी and so on. अब कब तक I को आप इंक्रीमेंट करते रहोगे before you stop? और at what value of I your recurrence will fail? तो हमारा जो array है that starts from the 0th index and goes till the n minus 1th index. जब मेरा I n हो जाएगा इंक्रीमेंट करते करते, at that value my recurrence will fail. तो उसको ट्राई करके देख लो. Try to substitute n here. तो f of n according to this recurrence will be a of n plus f of n plus 1. Now a of n आप मतलब nth इंडेक्स पे जो वैल्यू है उसको एक्सेस कर रहे हो. क्या एक एरे जिसके पास n ही एलिमेंट्स है, जिसके इंडिसेस 0 से n minus 1 तक एग्जिस्ट करते हैं, क्या आप उसके nth एलिमेंट को एक्सेस कर सकते हो, nth इंडेक्स को एक्सेस कर सकते हो? बताओ. Can you access element at the nth index of an array that has a size n? You cannot, because indices exist from 0 to n minus 1. So when I equals to n, you will hit the base case. Ab clear hai second point? When I equals to n, you will hit the base case, right? तो बेस केस का मतलब क्या? यू हैव टू सॉल्व द प्रॉब्लम योरसेल्फ. रिकरेंस आपकी मदद नहीं करेगा. यू हैव टू सॉल्व इट प्रॉब्लम योरसेल्फ. तो अब देखते हैं खुद कैसे सॉल्व करेंगे. तो f of I equals to n, ये प्रॉब्लम मेरे को खुद सॉल्व करनी है. Now ask yourself, what does f of I equals to n denote? इसका मतलब क्या है? It denotes the sum of elements in the array starting from the nth index. Sum of elements in the array starting from the nth index, right? यही मतलब हुआ इसका when I equals to n. Now what does it mean? Sum of elements in the array starting from the nth index. ये क्या चीज होती है? What is this array? ये कौन सा array जो nth index से शुरू हो रहा है, n minus 1 index पे खत्म हो रहा है? Empty array. Yes or no? This denotes an empty array. ये clear है शिखा? बताओ, ये चीज क्लियर है? Now what is the sum of elements in an empty array? Empty array में elements जो है उनका sum क्या होता है? 0. तो f of n equals to 0. That is my base case. अब क्लियर है सबको? अब क्लियर है सबको बेस केस एंड रेकरेंस? ओके. तो ये एक तरीका हो गया हाउ यू कैन डिराइव द बेस केस एंड द रिकर्सिव केस. अब मैं ऐसा भी कह सकता था कि इफ आई हैव अ सम व्हिच इज a0 प्लस a1 प्लस सो ऑन प्लस an minus 1, मैं ये भी कह सकता था कि someone tells you the sum of elements, ऐसे इसको मिटाते हैं, I can write like this. हमने एक तरीका देखा दैट सम इक्वल्स टू a0 प्लस a1 प्लस सो ऑन प्लस an minus 1, और मैंने कहा कि किसी ने आपको ये वैल्यू दे दी, उस वैल्यू में आपने a0 ऐड किया, यू विल गेट द फाइनल आंसर. आप प्रॉब्लम को दूसरी तरीके से भी ब्रेक कर सकते थे. आप कह सकते थे कि s इक्वल्स टू a0 प्लस a1 प्लस सो ऑन प्लस an minus 2 प्लस an minus 1, और किसी ने अगर आपको ये वैल्यू दे दी दैट इज द सम ऑफ द फर्स्ट n minus 1 एलिमेंट्स, और इसको बोला ये x है, तो आपका आंसर क्या होता? इट विल बी x प्लस a of n minus 1. ऐसे भी लिख सकते थे हम, राइट? तो दो तरीके से आप इस प्रॉब्लम को ब्रेक कर सकते थे. हमने एक तरीका देखा, और दूसरा तरीके से अगर आप ब्रेक करोगे तो आपकी जो रेफरेंस होगी दैट विल बी f of i equals to a of i plus f of i minus 1, राइट? और इस केस में बेस केस आपका क्या होगा? इट विल बी f of 0 या फिर f of 0 equals to what is the element at the 0th index. तो जिसने ऊपर बोला था कि ये रेफरेंस होनी चाहिए थी, तो ये भी हो सकती है. इट्स नॉट एन इशू, डिपेंड्स ऑन हाउ यू ब्रेक द प्रॉब्लम. ठीक है? तो सबको क्लियर है ये चीज? ऑफ कोर्स ये उसके लिए है जिसने ऊपर बोला था कि ये रेफरेंस क्यों नहीं है, ये भी हो सकती है, लेकिन जो मैंने बताया वो सबको क्लियर है. एक और तरीके से आप प्रॉब्लम को ब्रेक कर सकते थे. आप कह सकते थे कि सम इक्वल्स टू a0 प्लस a1 प्लस सो ऑन प्लस an minus 1. अब किसी ने मेरे को हाफ जो एलिमेंट्स है एरे के उसका सम बोला x है, और नेक्स्ट हाफ का एलिमेंट का सम y है, तो माय आंसर विल बी x प्लस y. और ये प्रॉब्लम्स जो है अगेन दीज आर स्मॉलर इंस्टेंसेस ऑफ द सेम प्रॉब्लम. तो डिपेंड्स ऑन यू हाउ यू ट्राई टू रिड्यूस द गिवन प्रॉब्लम इनटू स्मॉलर इंस्टेंसेस ऑफ द सेम प्रॉब्लम, राइट? तो सबको क्लियर है व्हाट इज रिकरेंस, व्हाट इज बेस केस, कैसे बेस केस ढूंढते हैं, राइट? तो होपफुली थोड़ी आपको क्लैरिटी मिली होगी काफी चीजों की. टिपिकली होता क्या है जब हम क्वेश्चंस, जस्ट गिव मी अ सेकंड. सर मेरे को एक डाउट है, टेल रिकर्जन हेड रिकर्जन से फास्ट क्यों होती है? टेल रिकर्जन हेड रिकर्जन से फास्ट क्यों होती है? ये तो मैं पहली बार सुन रहा हूँ. किसने बताया आपको ये? कहाँ देखा आपने कि टेल रिकर्जन हेड रिकर्जन से फास्ट होती है? स्पर्श, मैंने स्टैक ओवरफ्लो पढ़ा था, तो स्टैक ओवरफ्लो पे तो देखो क्वेश्चन पे डिपेंड करेगा, ऐसा कोई ये कोई वो नहीं है, इट डिपेंड्स ऑन द क्वेश्चन। देयर इज नो रूल की टेल रिकर्जन और हेड रिकर्जन से फास्ट होती है, ऐसा कोई रूल नहीं है एज फार एज आई नो, और मैं काफी टाइम से रिकर्जन पढ़ रहा हूँ। डिपेंड, मे बी जो क्वेश्चन आप देख रहे होगे वहां पर हो सकता है, बट ऐसा कोई जनरल रूल तो नहीं है, राइट? बिकॉज टिपिकली व्हेन यू सॉल्व रिकर्सिव प्रोग्राम्स, आपका दिमाग इस पे नहीं चलना चाहिए कि मैं टेल रिकर्जन बनाऊं या हेड रिकर्जन बनाऊं या क्या रिकर्जन बनाऊं। योर जॉब इज टू फाइंड अ रेकरेंस, वो कैसे भी बन जाए, अल्टीमेटली आपको क्वेश्चन सॉल्व करना है, ठीक है? सबको क्लियर है रेकरेंस? ऑफ कोर्स अगर आपको चाहते हो मैं ये प्रोग्राम इंप्लीमेंट कर दूं, आई कैन डू दैट, तो मे बी इसको इंप्लीमेंट कर लेते हैं जल्दी से। सो लेट्स से आई क्रिएट array. I have created an array and let's say it contains elements 1, 2 and 3, and I can call a function cout sum, and this function takes the array and the size of the array which is 3. So size of the array is 3. अगर आप ऐसे calculate करना चाहते हो, you can say int n equals to size of a divided by size of integer, right? And you can pass n. Now how do you create this function? So this function returns the sum, so int sum, it accepts an array and it accepts the size, and it also accepts a value I. So initially the value of I will be 0. What will I do? If I equals to n, then I will return 0. Otherwise I will return a of I plus sum of a comma n comma I plus 1. That's it. This is your recursive case, this is your base case. Let's try to run this. So answer should be 6. We are getting 6. If we have 4 and 5, answer should be 15, and we are getting 15. Sir, what will be the difference between recursion and divide and conquer? So divide and conquer का मतलब यही होता है. Divide and conquer is like a kind of recursion. मतलब you are given a problem, you typically divide the problem into in some ratio. ठीक है, तो divide and conquer कुछ नहीं है. You are given a problem, let's say you're given an array and you want to sort it, for example. It's a very common example. So divide and conquer का मतलब यही होता है कि you try to divide that array or divide that problem into in some ratio. Half में divide कर सकते हैं, 1/4, 3/4, depends on the context, depends on the problem. Once you manage to divide the problem into smaller instances, then आप दोनों जो हाफ से या 3 हाफ से जितने भी आपके पास है सब प्रॉब्लम्स, सबको रिकर्सिवली ही सॉल्व करते हो, एंड देन यू मर्ज द सॉल्यूशंस. दैट इज डिवाइड एंड कॉन्कर. So it is recursion only, मतलब it's a kind of problems, ठीक है? इसका नाम थोड़ा कंफ्यूजिंग है, डिवाइड एंड कॉन्कर. होता ये है, you divide the problems, you recursively solve the sub problems, and then you combine them to get the original solution. अब ये combine वाले part को हम conquer कहते हैं. You are conquering the results based on solution of smaller problems, right? Sir, can you share today's notes? तो कैसे share करूं मैं? मतलब एक काम कर सकते हैं, तो वन नोट एक्चुअली ये नोटबुक जो है इसमें और भी बहुत सारी चीजें हैं, तो नोटबुक शेयर होती है, बस ये सेक्शंस तो शेयर नहीं होता मेरे ख्याल से. सो मे बी व्हाट आई कैन डू इज इसको मूव कर लेते हैं. हाउ टू रिवर्स अ लिंक लिस्ट. तो आई थिंक लिंक लिस्ट हम कल देख लेंगे. आई थिंक 90 मिनट्स हो गए, तो कल हम देख लेंगे लिंक लिस्ट, रिवर्स कैसे करते हैं रिकर्जन से इटरेटिवली और क्या होता है, ठीक है? और जहां तक शेयर की बात है, तो मेरे को कोई ईमेल एड्रेस दे दो, मैं उस पर शेयर कर दूंगा. अगर कोई मेरे को अपना ईमेल एड्रेस दे सकता है जो सेशन को होस्ट कर रहा है, लक्ष्य फॉर एग्जांपल.
Yes, sir.
आप अपना ईमेल एड्रेस मेरे को दे दो, मैं नोट्स और कोड उस पर शेयर कर दूंगा.
Okay, sir, sure.
Okay.
So I've sent you the mail.
अच्छा, मेरे को एक ईमेल दिया ये JIITOSAstudentchapter@gmail.com, तो मैं इस पे शेयर कर दूंगा, ठीक है? Let me note
Okay,
it down,
sure.
sir. Just give me a second. ठीक है, मैं ईमेल पे शेयर कर दूंगा नोट्स और कोड को, ठीक है? तो आई थिंक कल हम लिंक लिस्ट डिस्कस कर सकते हैं. ऑफ कोर्स सेशन हमारा ट्रीज का है, बट ये सारे जो कॉन्सेप्ट्स हैं, सारे टॉपिक्स हैं, दे टेक टाइम. फॉर एग्जांपल रिकर्जन इटसेल्फ, आई थिंक for me to teach it will take around 20 hours of recursion and 20 hours of DP. तो एक घंटे में तो सब कुछ नहीं बता सकते, but still same for linked list, you need to have at least 6 to 9 hours. Same for trees, you need to have at least 15 to 20 hours. So these are chapters in itself. So hopefully जितना मैं कर पाया share I have shared. ठीक है? What about the time complexity which will work faster, for loop or recursion? So of course आपका जो for loop होगा that will be faster because वहां पर there is no overhead of recursion call stack, तो space भी ज्यादा conserve होगी and space basically constant होगी for loop के केस में. recursion में you have a call stack, तो वहां पर extra space गई. as far as complexity is concerned, तो complexity same ही रहने वाली है. how many hours for linked list? तो मतलब लिंक लिस्ट में कितने घंटे पूरा कंप्लीट करने में लगेंगे? तो आई थिंक लिंक लिस्ट में it will take around 3 to 4 5 6 hours to know what is linked list, how to insert, how to delete, how to search, and of course problems की range तो बहुत ज्यादा होती है, तो depends आपको कितना आपकी capacity है. नहीं, ऐसा कोई नहीं है, ऐसा कुछ नहीं है. Basically every recursive program there is a iterative program as well, and every iterative program can be converted into recursive program. तो ऐसा कुछ नहीं कि रिकर्जन फास्ट होता है, फॉर लूप स्लो होता है, ऐसा कुछ भी नहीं है. आपको एनालाइज करनी पड़ेगी अपनी कॉम्प्लेक्सिटी को. देयर आर वेज इन विच यू कैन एनालाइज द कॉम्प्लेक्सिटी, बट रिकर्जन में देयर विल ऑलवेज बी अ कॉल स्टैक और दैट विल बी एन ओवरहेड, जो कि आपका आइटरेटिव प्रोग्राम में नहीं होता. फ्रॉम वेयर वी कैन प्रैक्टिस लिंक लिस्ट प्रॉब्लम. तो प्लेटफॉर्म एक है लीड कोड. कितने लोगों ने नाम सुना है लीड कोड के बारे में? So lead code is the only platform that you should, from where you should prepare at least placement point of view से. That is more than enough. अगर आप lead code से prepare कर रहे हो, for every topic you do questions, 5 to 6 questions every day for 7 days, and you do this for every topic. So we typically have around 10 to 12 topics in data structures and algorithms. We have arrays, linked list, then stacks and queues, then we have heaps, trees, hash maps, tries, graphs, DP, recursion.